We're taught, especially women, you can't have it all. Nobody can have it all. If you try to have it all, something's got to give. And you can have it all. You can have it all. You can even have it all at the same time, but you sort of have to know how to do that. So whatever you want in life, there are two different things you have to do. The first thing is you have to decide, what does it look like? Say I want an amazing guy. Now I used to live in Notting Hill, which is like water-all rock stars. And one of my friends, she lived in a basement, and there was a rock star living in, and she used to always say, I want that guy. And there was a song called I Want That. And every time she saw me, she'd sing that song. And one day, which wasn't actually that odd because they lived in the same street, he rang the wrong doorbell. She opened the door, there he was in her bed all night, and she said, I never heard from him again. I said, but that's what you said you wanted. I want that man in my bed. You didn't go, he's going to look at me, our souls will collide, and we'll be together forever. You said, I want him in my bed, and you got him because you manifested it, but you stopped. And so, first of all, you have to take a minute and think, what does it look like? What kind of career do I want? And really think about it. What would it look like? Who would it be? Who would my customer be? You have to be very clear about what kind of person you want, what kind of career do you want. And that takes a little while, but not a lot, to think about, what do I want? If you can see it, you can achieve it. But many people, they don't see it enough. They go, yeah, I want to write a book. Well, you can write a book. Does that mean it will sell? No. I want to write a screenplay, but I've noticed, having done lots of film work, that you can get something commissioned, you can even get it filmed. It doesn't even mean it goes on screen. It may go on screen and get cancelled after one showing. So you've got to be very clear. I want to write a bestseller. You can't say I want to write a book, because you can write a book that no one buys. It gets the worst reviews. So really being clear on what I want. I want to write a bestseller book. What kind of book? A book that helps people, that talks to women, or talks to children. So when you're really clear what you want and you make it bigger, brighter, your mind's job is to go after what you want. When you've looked at what you want, the biggest block is not that. The biggest block is this, deciding you're worth it. That is the biggest block. 85% of success is mindset. Only 15% is work. So if you have the mindset, I want it, I deserve it, I'm going to have this, nothing is going to stop me. When someone said to Naomi Campbell, Naomi, you'll never be on the cover of Vogue, that door is shut. Shut? I'll kick it open. And she would too, and I love that about her. Shut the door to black girls on the cover of Vogue. No, I'm going to kick that door down. So that's that, I'm worth it. Oh, it's shut. Well, maybe I can be on the cover of someone else, maybe Cosmopolitan. No, you have to really believe you're worth it. And the biggest block to success is not having opportunities, it's having I don't think I'm worth it. I really like that person, but what if they reject me? I really want a career, but what if? Do you know 70% of lottery winners, it's an amazing statistic, are completely bankrupt in 3 years. You know why? Because they don't believe I've got all this money. I feel kind of embarrassed. I've worked with a lot of them and say, oh, you know, I felt really uncomfortable. I had all this money. I go to the pub with my friends, and if I put my hand in my pocket, they go, there you go, showing off again. But if I didn't, they go, what? You have all this, we've got to pay for our own drinks. You're a multi-millionaire. And the feeling of, I don't deserve this. You know, Amy Winehouse was a really interesting girl, because she'd always say, I don't deserve this success. I just wrote a song in 5 minutes, and I don't understand how I've got all this money, and it's what I call the self-destructiveness. If you believe you're not worth it, not only will you not get it, if you get it, you'll get rid of it as fast as you possibly can. You'll self-destruct, you'll procrastinate. And I see that with many, many rock stars who make so much money. All saints did that. At the end of their thing, they had no money. I'm like, how can you have no money? I don't know. I just gave it all to everyone else. Why? Because I didn't ever really think I was worth it. And I created the I'm Enough movement because I'd see person after person after person all said the same thing. Yeah, I've got this, but I don't feel worthy of it. So the biggest thing is you must decide, I'm worth it. I'm worthy of love, I'm worthy of fame, I'm worthy of whatever you want. It can be anything, but you've got to believe you're worth it. And that probably really should be the first step. So let's turn this around. Your first step, whatever you want, is to just say, I'm worth it. It's not hard work. You just wander around going, I'm worth it. the most successful advert in the whole world is that L'Oreal I'm with. I said, I'm going to buy the cheap shampoo, but hang on a minute. I want to be like Jennifer Aniston. If she's worth it, I'm worth it. I'm buying that one. I know in my head it's not any better than that one, but I somehow believe I'm worth it. So if you can develop a worth it mentality, and what does that mean? It means you look in the mirror and go, I can have whatever I want with bells. And if I want it, I'm worth it. I want this amazing person, I'm worth it. I want to have great kids that are amazing, I'm worth it. I want an incredible business that knocks everyone else out of the park. I want to be the best. Well, believe you're worth it. I with a lot of Olympic athletes never go, hey, I'm okay being silver. I don't mind. I just don't mind even coming. They go, no, I want to be gold. If you want to be gold, you've got to believe you're worth it, because that belief you're worth it gets you out of bed in the snow and makes you train. So the first step is really easy. Every day when you wake up, look in the mirror and go, I'm worth it. Whatever I want, I'm worth it. I deserve it. It's available to me. I can have everything with bells on. And if you keep saying that over and over and over again, you'll make it real. The second thing is what we just said. What does it look like? Really narrow it down. I want to sell something amazing. Well, who to? And who are your competitors? And the third thing is something people have got really confused with. Oh, can I just manifest? I'm just going to sit at home and manifest. No, you actually have to work. I see some parents go, I don't want my kids to work. I'm teaching my kids to manifest. I'm like, well, that doesn't work. I don't want to do anything I don't want to do. Well, even super famous people have to do what they don't want to do. Get out of bed, get on a plane, be in a movie when they're not in the mood, go on stage. If you ever saw the documentary with Whitney Houston called Can I Be Me, which she couldn't be, her thing was not the singing, it's when she got off stage, she couldn't go, I'm going to bed. I got a voice and I'm going to bed. She had to entertain everyone and party and drink and stay up because she couldn't say, I don't want this bit. So the third part is really deciding that you will have to work on your way to getting it. When you get it, you actually don't have to work much at all. So that's the logical thing. I'm worth it. I know exactly what it looks like. I'm really every day tuning in on what it looks like. It's like people say, I want to be pregnant. Really? You could be pregnant 8 times and never have a baby. That's not what you want. You want to conceive, carry, deliver, and raise a perfect, healthy baby. I want loads of attention. Well, you can have that with explosive gas, but that probably isn't what you want. You can have that for having a nervous twitch or going out shoplifting, even if you're a millionaire. And people do that because they go, I want everyone to notice me. Now I've just got stopped in Harrods putting some makeup in my bag and everyone's noticing me, and I never wanted that. But the thing with the mind is, because this is a second bit, I'm worth it. What does it look like? I am prepared to work for it. But when you do what you love, it actually doesn't feel like work. When you do what you love, it never feels like work. But the second part is your mind. And people think, well, my mind's job is to make me happy. No. Your mind's job is just to keep you alive on the planet. That's its only job. That's why when you put the shower on, it's cold, you take a deep breath. It's why if you eat something bad, you throw up. It's why you put your hands out when you fall. It's why your stomach drops when you're very high up, because your mind is super wired and hard-coded to keep you alive against what were once actually not great odds. But how your mind keeps you alive is really fascinating. It searches all the time for what hurts you and what pleases you. And when it works out what it is, it moves you to what pleases you, and it moves you away from what hurts you. In fact, one of the most vexing things about the mind, it's cool really, is that it only likes what it already knows. We are hardwired to run back to what is familiar and to run away from what is unfamiliar. Who here has children? I know you have. How many noticed when they were 2, they go, I don't want that. I only like strawberry yogurt in a blue bowl, and that's yellow yogurt, or I don't want it. What kept children alive when they got to age 2 and they could wander around and eat their own stuff is only eating what they already knew. I like that cereal, I like those chicken nuggets, I like everything with ketchup. If I don't know it, I'm not going to have it. When you learn to go, oh, I see, you don't know this is not familiar. You know, I took my daughter at great expense to Finland to meet Father Christmas, and she spent the whole time watching The Little Mermaid in Finnish. I'm like, But I understood that. She'd watched it 100 times. She understood everything they were saying in Finnish. She's like, I want to sit here and watch The Little Mermaid in Finnish because I already know it. And so your mind's job is to keep you alive, and it's always working out what causes you pleasure and what causes you pain. And when it knows what causes you pain, when it knows, it will move you away from it forever. When people say, you know what, if I get dumped by one more guy, if I get ghosted again, that's it, I'm just going to jump under a train. Nobody means that. When you say, if I have to deal with one more customer, I'm going to kill myself. One more commute on that 405 freeway in LA, and that's it, I'm just going to take an overdose. We say all these crazy things. I mean, I live in LA. People say every day, I'm going to lose my shit now. I'm like, why would you even say that? That's such a stupid thing to say if you understand how the mind works. Because every thought you think and every word you speak is a blueprint that your mind, body, and psyche must, it has no choice, work to make real. So if you start from there, because it is true, every thought I think and every word I speak is a blueprint that my mind and body are making real. So when you say, I really want to have this, but I don't know where to start, and it's so confusing, and I'm a bit lost here, your mind stays there. If you say, I've got a story, it's an amazing story, the world is desperate for my story, and I know how to deliver it, even if you don't know, I know, it's all coming to me, you'll find you wake up thinking, oh, I know what to do. Because when you speak and it's the blueprint, your mind moves you towards it. And we all see that every day when you say things like, oh, I'm so dreading next Wednesday, I've got to give a speech at work, I don't know why I volunteered, I've got to go and see my kid's teacher, I don't want to do that. Come Wednesday, you'll wake up with a flu or chronic diarrhea, because you see, I listened to you. When you said I'd give anything not to do that, I'd do anything to get out of it, lo and behold, you get a chronic migraine, terrible cold, because your mind listens. And the way to get around that is really simple. Whatever you want, and this is so simple, you have to say, I want it, I want it, I want it, I'm ready. That is actually a magic expression. And then to say, I've chosen this, and I've chosen to feel great about it. I've chosen it, and I've chosen to feel great. I've chosen not to eat cake anymore, not to drink Diet Coke, not to drink loads of alcohol. I've chosen it, but I've also chosen to feel great. Because what most do is I've chosen not to eat cake, and it's so unfair and it's so boring. I'm condemned to this rabbit food. I've chosen not to drink, and now I'm a real bore at the party. When you say I've chosen to feel great about it, that's your blueprint. I've chosen this, and I've chosen to feel great. And I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. And when you can dialogue with your mind that way, it really is a game changer. So the mind is really simple. When I was training to be a therapist, my very eminent teacher, you know, the mind is very complicated. Do you know it takes a lifetime to understand the workings of the mind? And then it takes a second lifetime to apply. I'm like, well, how does that work then? First of all, no one's got a lifetime. What's the point of getting all that knowledge when you're 89? But it's actually not true. The mind is very simple. It does what it thinks you want it to do, and it bases it entirely on how you talk. You know, if you were a doctor and you had a patient of 4 and the mum said he's got a tummy ache, you go, where does it hurt? Is it reoccurring? Is it stabbing? A child can't tell you, so you can never work out what's going on because they haven't got the language. An adult can say, well, it's a stabbing pain, I get it here, it's intermittent, it's worst after I've eaten, it's easier in the morning. And by that language, a doctor knows exactly what's going on. And your mind is the same. By your language, it knows what's going on. So everything you're doing, your mind thinks that's exactly what you want. When you say things like, I really can't be bothered to do that, or it's too stressful, or it's taking too long, you're telling your mind, I don't want it. When you say, well, I do want it, but it's so hard, it's so difficult, you're still telling your mind you don't want it. So if in your life there's something that you want, can be anything at all. Maybe you want to live without sugar, but you haven't succeeded. Maybe you want to do the plank every day, but you just don't do it. If there's something you want and you're not doing it, I promise your mind thinks you don't want that at all. Because every time you do the plank, you go, oh, this is painful. Oh, my stomach hurt, my arms hurt, my neck hurts. And now your mind's going, don't do the plank ever again. I'm doing this aerobic class and I hate the music, I don't like the teacher. I'm teaching my kid math, going, oh my God, I could kill myself with this is so difficult. You're telling your mind, I don't actually want this. So if there's anything you haven't got that you want, just start to say, I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. You know, if you were going to have a tattoo, you wouldn't go, you wouldn't say, hey, I'm going to have roses tattooed on my back, right down to my butt. Does it hurt? They go, of course it bloody hurts. What do you think it is here? This is not a massage, it's a tattoo part. I said, no, but I want it. And I worked with a very tiny little pop star who had that roses tattoo. Did it hurt? She went, oh yes, but I was so excited. I went every day. It took 2 years to get these roses tattooed, even on my butt. But I was so excited because a junkie doesn't say, will it hurt when you put that needle in my arm? Will it hurt when I squirt drugs into my eyeball? They go, will I get high? Will I be out of it? And then they get excited about pain. So if you haven't got what you want, you've confused your mind into things you don't want it. Oh, all men leave you, they all trade you in, they're all after something else. And if you've got a lot of what you don't want, procrastinating, self-sabotaging, putting things off, your mind thinks, you want that, you must want it. So you have to learn to dialogue with your mind, which is so easy. You know, we're all taught if you want a great business, you've got to learn to dialogue with your customers. You want a great marriage, especially if you're Jewish, go and learn how to dialogue with your partner. You want to be a great parent, learn how to talk to your kids so they listen. All of these things work, but no one says, hey, the most important thing in the whole world is how you dialogue with you, because your subconscious mind is always switched on. It never runs out of batteries. It's always on, and it's always on record. So right now you could think about what you really want, and then think about how you're dialoguing with yourself, and think about the things you've got that you don't want. And again, think about how you're dialoguing with yourself. But let me show you, because it's much more fun to experience it, hear it, how your mind does whatever you tell it. So everyone take their right arm and point it towards me. But really simple. And all I want you to do is take your arm as far back behind as it will go. Just push it to its absolute limit. Make sure it's pushed to its limit. Notice where it is. Just mark it on wherever you might. Bring it back. And just close your eyes. And I want you to tell your arm to go a third further. As weird as that sounds, I want you to say to your arm, you are going to go a third further. You're like a gymnast. You're like an Olympic athlete in being flexible. I want you to tell all the muscles in your shoulder to open up and to become kind of like rubber bands. I want you to imagine your arm is so flexible. Your right arm is super flexible. It's like a pipe cleaner. It's going to go a third further. Open your eyes, look at your arm, and just say to your arm, go a third further, because I'm telling you to, and I know you can. And now take it back and watch as it goes a whole third further, because you told it to. So when you say things like, if I look at a cake, I get fat. If I have one potato chip, I eat the whole bag. My kids just make me lose my mind. You can make that happen. So let's do the other arm. And we'll do this one really quickly, because you take your other arm and just swing it as far back behind as it will go. Look at where it's gone. Make sure you know where it is, because it's going to go a third further. Bring it back. Look at your arm and say, go a third further. You are super flexible. You're like Barbie or Ken. You're like a rubber doll. And you can go all the way back. Say to your arm, go a third further. You're super, super. Go further. Go a third further. Tell your arm to do that. Swing it back and watch again as it goes a third further. So when you can make your arm go further by telling it to, what else do you think? You know, you can say, I'm super orgasmic. I'm orgasmic. I have multiple orgasms, and I look 10 years younger, have little electric shocks all over my body. If you say that, it becomes true. People say, oh no, I can't. It's so difficult. He's been down there for hours, and I just can't respond. I'm really bored. I'm thinking of other things. Everything is how you dialogue with yourself. So let's do another one. Put your hand in front of your mouth. And I want you to imagine you've got half a lemon in your hand, half of a big, fat, juicy Spanish lemon. Obviously the half is facing up, and I want you to squish that and imagine you can breathe in and you can really inhale that great flavor of a lemon, that smell of a lemon. I want you to squeeze the lemon so all little drops of lemon juice come to the surface. I want you to open your mouth, and I want you to shove that half a lemon in your mouth and begin to chew it and bite it. I want you to suck out all the flesh, chew every segment, suck out every bit of lemon juice, swirl it around your mouth, keep chewing and sucking and biting on that lemon. And as you chew and suck and bite a lemon, you'll notice that your taste buds are enlarging. Your taste buds are puckering now because they're really responding to the thought that you are eating a lemon. Keep eating the lemon, and then just drop your hand out. How many of you noticed you started to make saliva as you told yourself you were eating a lemon? Put your hand up if you noticed that. You see, you know there's no lemon. Your mind doesn't go, come on, there's no lemon, this is crazy. Your mind says, you're eating a lemon, that's going to wash away tooth enamel. I need to make saliva because of the acid in the lemon. So if you can think about a lemon and your mind acts as if you're actually eating a lemon, even when you know that you're not, if you can think that, then you begin to understand that every thought you think has an emotional reaction and a physical action too. When you think about something, you make it real. Check out my next video here.